So, today we are going to learn the new topic, that is a flower, okay, the parts of a flower. So, how the sepals and petals are arranged. So, each and everything we are going to see in this video. I hope it is very useful to you for the board and need purpose. Okay. Shall we enter to the class? So, parts of a flower. Okay. So, the flower is the modified shoot, that is called by modified shoot. So, without flower they cannot do the sexual reproduction. Okay. So, what are the parts in a flower? So, actually a flower is attached to the stem with the help of a small stalk. The name of the stalk is called, that is called pedicel. Okay. The name of the stalk is called, that is a pedicel. So, this is a pedicel. Actually this region is a pedicel which is used to connect the flower to the stem and that. So, connect the flower to the stem. Okay. So, which is arranged on the, that is a nodal region. This is also called a base of the region is called, it's look like a node. Okay. So, this is your peach, this is called a pedicel. Okay. In the base of the pedicel we can see a extra outgrowth. The extra outgrowth of the, so base of the pedicel is called, that is a bract. This is called a bract. Okay. And just above the base of the pedicel we can see the another extra outgrowth. So, this extra outgrowth is called, that is a bracteoles. Okay. So, this is otherwise called epicalyx because which is present below the calyx. So, this is a calyx. So, below the calyx which is present. So, this is called a epicalyx. So, bracteoles are otherwise called, that is a epicalyx. So, now above the bracteole we can see that the first whorl of the flower. So, what is the first whorl of the flower? That is a calyx. Okay. So, calyx is made up of sepals. Each number of sepals are together to forming a calyx. Okay. So, that is green in color. So, which is involved in photosynthesis. Okay. And another important functions of the calyx which is protect the flower in bud conditions, Okay. That is a main functions of the, that is a calyx. Okay. Calyx is the first whorl of the flower. The calyx is made up of a number of sepals together to forming a calyx. Okay. So, that is a number of sepals together to forming a calyx. This is green in color which is involved in photosynthesis and they have to protect the flower in the bud conditions. So, the sepals, each and every sepals are, that is a separated from each other means that is called a polysepalous. Okay. If it is united, that is called a gamosepalous in condition. Next whorl, the second whorl of the flower is called, that is a corolla. This part is called a corolla. This is a corolla part. So, corolla is made up of a number of petals together to forming a corolla. Okay. So, this is a brightly colored, each and every flower has a different color, that is attract the insects for the pollinations. Okay. So, the calyx and corolla is both of them is considered as a accessory whorl. Okay. So, this is not involved in, directly involved in sexual reproduction, but they have to protect the sexual organs. So, this is called a accessory whorls. So, similarly in that petals, the petals are separated from each other means that is considered as a, that is a polypetalous. Okay. If it is together, that is called a gamopetalous. Okay. So, already I said that is a polypetalous and gamopetalous. Polypetalous. Polypetals means petals are free. Okay. So, gamopetals means petals are united. Gamopetalous means the petals are united. Okay. So, similarly in the sepals, if the sepals are united, that is called a gamosepalous. Okay. If the sepals are free, that is a polysepalous. Okay. Poly means free, that is a gamo means united. Okay. So, this is a accessory whorls we studied. So, next we have to see the essential whorls. Okay. That is a essential whorls that is directly involved in the sexual reproductions. Okay. That is androecium and gynoecium are considered as a essentially whorls. And before we must study about the thalamus region. Actually in the tip of the pedicels all the florets are arised. Okay. So, this region is called, this is a thalamus region. This region is called thalamus. Thalamus is otherwise called, so that is a torus. Thalamus is otherwise called torus or receptacle. Okay. In the tip of the pedicel is a thalamus. So, all the floral leaves are arised from this region. Okay. So, the thalamus is a somewhat bulged region. Okay. So, this is otherwise called torus and receptacle. So, already we studied the first two whorls, that is the accessory whorls, and second two whorls are necessary whorls. In the necessary whorls we can see the androecium and gynoecium. So, this is a stamen and another one is a pistil. Okay. So, the androecium is a male sex organ which is made up of a number of stamens together to forming a androeciums. Okay. So, what about in the gynoecium? It's a number of pistil, that is a carpels are united to form a gynoecium. So, gynoecium is a female reproductive part and androecium is a male reproductive part of the flower. So, what are the regions in the gynoecium? The gynoecium consists of, this is your ovary and this is your style and this is your stigma. Okay. It consists of three important regions. The first one is your ovary, style and another one is your stigma is present, okay, in the gynoecium part. So, what about in the androecium part? It consists of a stamen, okay, each one is called, this is your stamen, this is your stamen. The stamen consists of anther and this is your filament, this is called your filament, okay. So, anther and filament is present, that is your stamen. Stamen is a male reproductive part and gynoecium is the female reproductive part. Okay. See once again. So, what is the pedicel? The pedicel is a stalk of the flower. Okay. The base of the pedicel we can see the extra outgrowth, that is a bract. Okay. So, from that basal region we can see the pedicel, stalk of the flower is a pedicel. In middle of the pedicels or above the, that is a bract, we can see the extra outgrowth, that is known as a bracteoles. This is otherwise called epicalyx because which is present below the calyx. Okay. So, it consists of 4 whorls. Okay. The 4 whorls are arised from the thalamus or torus regions. Okay. Thalamus is otherwise called torus or receptacle. So, all the floral parts are arised from the tip of the pedicel, that is a thalamus or torus or receptacle. All the floral parts are arised from here. So, it may be a 5 whorls or sometime it may be a 4 whorls. Okay. So, 4 whorls flowers are considered as a pentamerous and 5 whorls flowers are considered as a, that is a 5 whorls are considered as a pentamerous and 4 whorls are considered as a, that's a tetramerous in conditions. Okay. So, this is the characteristics of the dicotyledonous plants. So, that first whorl is that is a calyx and corolla. First whorl is a calyx, second whorl is a corolla. So, that is your accessory organs, okay, because which is support to the reproductive organs. So, where is the reproductive organ? The reproductive organ is inside the accessory whorls. So, that is a male and female sex organ. So, male sex organ is a androecium and female sex organ is a gynoecium is there. Okay. I hope you understand. So, we will go to the next slide. Okay. So, whorls of the flower already we studied, accessory whorls and essential whorls. Accessory whorls are calyx and corolla, essential whorls that is here androecium and gynoecium. So, what about the complete flower? Okay. So, what is the complete? Complete means it consists of the all the whorls, that is the 4 whorls are present mean that is here complete flowers. So, what are the 4 whorls? That is a calyx, corolla, androecium and gynoeciums. So, all the whorls are present in the flower, that flower is considered as a complete flower. If it is not incomplete flower means if any one of the whorl is absent, okay. So, it may be a calyx or corolla, okay. So, any whorl is absent, if any whorl out of the 4 is absent, that is considered as a incomplete flower, okay. Sometimes that is called by the monoclamidious, okay. Diclamidious means that both 2 whorls are present, the accessory whorls are present. So, incomplete flower means sometimes that is a monoclamidious in condition. So, the calyx and corolla is not differentiated here, okay. So, it is not differentiated, that is known as a monoclamidious. If it has a calyx and corolla is present here, so that is a diclamidious in conditions, okay. Out of 4 whorls la edavadhu one absent ah irundha kuda adu vandu incomplete flower appdi nama solrom. Next flower sex, okay. So, what is the, how can we identify this is a male and female flower? Because the presence and absence of the androecium and gynoeciums, okay. If the androecium is present, that is called a, that is a male flower. If the gynoecium is present, that is considered as a female flower, okay, based on the presence and absence of the androecium and gynoecium. So, we will say that is a male and female. So, what is a perfect or bisexual flowers? Okay. If a flower consists of a male and female sex organ, that is androecium and gynoecium is contained. If a flower contains both androecium and gynoecium, so it is called as a perfect flower. Okay. If any one is absent, that is considered as a staminate or pistillate flower. So, that is a unisexual flower. Okay. Bisexual means both sex organs are present, unisexual means any one of the sex organ only present. So, another one is a imperfect flowers. Okay. Imperfect means that is your unisexual in conditions. Okay. Any one of the sex organ is present there. It may be a androecium or it may be a gynoecium. If it androecium is present, that is a staminate in condition. So, staminate flowers, okay, you can see here only the stamens are present. We cannot see the, that is a gynoecium part. So, this is a staminate flowers. A flowers with only the androecium, that is a staminate flowers. So, pistillate flowers means a flowers with gynoecium is only called, that is a pistillate flower. So, the both of them is under the unisexual category. Okay, ma'am. Next, plant sex. So, plant sex or refers to, already I said, the presence and absence of the androecium and gynoecium. Okay. So, here the plant sex, it is the distributions of the flowers, okay, in the different axes in the different sexes. Some of the plants we can see the male and female flowers in the different places. Okay. So, that is a monoecious in conditions. In some of the plants we can see only the male flower or only the female flowers. So, that is known as a dioecious in condition. So, that is a hermaphrodite. Okay. Hermaphrodite. So, it means that both sex organs are present in a flower. Okay. It's not a bisexual flowers. Okay. So, both sex organs, it may be present in different places or present in the same flower, that is considered as a hermaphrodite. Male and female sex organs in a same flower or in the same plant, which is present in the different branches of the same plant. So, already I said what is the monoecious. Okay. In the monoecious, that is both male and female flowers are present in the same plant, but both of them are separated flowers. Okay. In one flower consists of female, another one is consists of male, because the presence of the gynoecium, that is a female, because the presence of the androecium, this is a male flower. Okay. So, both flowers are different branches in the same plant. So, that is a monoecious in condition. So, you can see the picture of coconut, that is a monoecious plant. Okay. So, the male and female flowers in the separate branches. Next one is a dioecious. So, dioecious, that is a equal to, that is a male and female flower in the separate plant. Okay. That is a dioecious in conditions. So, this is one plant, it consists of a female flower. This is another plant, it consists of a male flower. Okay. So, both are in the different plant. So, example for the palmyra and papaya is example. Okay. That is a bisexual flower in the papaya. So, female flower, male flowers, okay, that is in the, so different plant, male flower in one plant, female flower in another plant, and bisexual flower in the another plant. That is, that condition is called, that is a dioecious. Another one is a polygamous. Okay. It is a different. Polygamous means we can see three types of the flower in a plant. Okay. So, we can see the male flower, staminate flower, and female flower is a, that is a pistillate flower and bisexual flowers. So, three type of the flowers we can see in a single plant, that is considered as a polygamous in condition. The example for the polygamous, that is a Musa paradisiaca, another one is a, so mangifera. Okay. So, next we are going to see the floor of symmetry. Okay. So, what is the meaning of the symmetrical? Okay. When we have to divide in any organisms into two equal halves. Okay. So, that condition is called symmetry. Okay. The equal halves, or organism ரெண்டா correct divide பண்ண, ஒரே plantல ரெண்டா divide பண்ணோம்னா, that is considered as a symmetrical in conditions. Okay. Through any plant, it may be a one plant or through me a so many plant. So, that is a flower of symmetry. Okay. So, some of the flowers we can divide it into equal, and some of the through any plant we can divide it into equal, and some of the flower, so we can divide it into equal only through only one plant. So, that is a different type. Okay. So, that is a flower of symmetry means we can divide the flower into two equal halves through any plane. Okay. So, under the category we will see the three types. The first one, that is actinomorphic or radial symmetry. Okay. So, or polysymmetric. So, what is actinomorphic? So, a flower showed to that the same same part we can see in the two halves, okay, which is divided into two equal halves. The parts are equally separated, equally distributed in both regions, okay. So that is a actinomorphic in conditions. So here we can divide the flower into two equal halves through any plane. So that is considered as a polysymmetric in conditions or radial symmetry, okay. So example for that hibiscus and datura, okay. இதில் எந்த பக்கம் எப்படி கட் பண்ணாலும் நமக்கு ஈக்குவலான பார்ட்ஸ் வந்து கிடைக்கும். Next one is a zygomorphic, okay. So we are also example for the zygomorphic, okay. So we can divide the human parts into two equal halves through only one plane, okay. If you are cut like that, so we can divide it into two equal halves. So like that in that plant, some of the plants we can divide it into two equal halves through any one plane only, okay. Otherwise we cannot get the equal halves. So that is a zygomorphic. It is otherwise called bilateral symmetry or monosymmetry, because only one plane only we can use. So that is a monosymmetric in conditions. So example pisum and beans. And next one is here asymmetric in conditions. Asymmetric means we cannot divide the equal halves through any plane, okay. எந்த பக்கம் நம்ம பார்த்தாலும் ஈக்குவலா நம்ம பிரிக்கவே முடியாது. So that is asymmetrical in conditions, okay. So because that arrangement of the petals and the sepals are in different conditions. It may be a spirally arranged, or it may be a cyclically arranged, okay. So there is a asymmetric in condition. So example, there is a canna indica. This is example for canna indica, கல்வாழை அப்படினு சொல்றோம், okay. So based on the floral symmetry, so that is divided into three types. The first one is a actinomorphic, second one is a zygomorphic, and third one is a asymmetric in conditions. So actinomorphic we can divide it into two equal halves through any plane, okay. So that is a polysymmetric or radial symmetric. So zygomorphic we can divide it into two equal halves through only one plane. So that is a zygomorphic or bilateral symmetry. So another one, we cannot divide it into two equal halves through any plane, okay. So that is a asymmetric in condition. So all the examples are very, very important. That is an important 5-mark question. So next we are going to see the arrangement of the whorls, okay, how the whorls are arranged. Already I said it consists of the 4 whorls, okay, or it may be a 5 whorls. It consists of 4 whorls, that is a pentamerous, 5 whorls, it consists of 4 whorls is a tetramerous, 5 whorls is a pentamerous. If the epicalyx is present, that is considered as a pentamerous in conditions, okay. The pentamerous and tetramerous are, that is the characteristics of the dicotyledonous, and only trimerous is the characteristics of the monocotyledonous. So then only I said that a calyx and corolla is not differentiated in the monocotyledonous plants. So that is called the monoclamidious in condition. So when we have to, they have to segregate the calyx and corolla, that is a diclamidious in conditions, okay. The position of the perianth they given. So what is the perianth? So when the calyx and corolla is not differentiated, it is form a single whorl, that the whorl is considered as a perianth. Each segment of the whorl is called, that is a tepals, okay va. So calyx corolla nu நம்ம பிரிக்க முடிஞ்சிச்சுனா அத நம்ம பிரிச்சிரலாம். இல்ல ஒரே single whorl இருந்துச்சுனா அதுக்கு பேரு perianth அப்படினு சொல்றோம். Perianth அப்படிங்கிறது whole structure perianth. So each segment of the perianth க்கு என்ன பேர்னா, that is a tepals, okay. Each segment of the calyx is called, that is a sepals. Each segment of the corolla is called, that is a petals in condition. So there is a petals, each segment of the corolla, okay. So this is a tepals, that is a perianth, and sepals, that is a calyx. So already I explained the number of sepals together to forming a calyx. So number of petals together to forming a corolla, okay. So number of tepals together to forming a perianth, okay. So that is a, when that is considered as a perianth, when the calyx and corolla is not differentiated, if it has a single whorl is present. Example in the Musa paradisiaca, it has a single whorl of that is a accessory whorl is there, single accessory whorl is present. So that is called a perianth, okay. Each segment of the perianth is a tepals. So the parts related to one another is called, that is a perianth arrangement, okay va. So எந்த மாதிரி arranged ஆயிருக்கு அப்படிங்கறத வச்சு தான் arrangement, the perianth arrangement அப்படி நம்ம சொல்றோம். Next, cyclic or whorl arrangement. So already I said that the florals are arranged in a cyclic. So cyclic manner means the first whorl is here. So the first whorl is here calyx, okay. In the second whorl, that is your corolla. Second whorl is your corolla. And third whorl is androecium, and the fourth whorl is called, that is your gynoecium. Okay. So, each and every whorls are arranged in here. There is a separate whorl that is called a cyclic whorl. So, first whorl complete on the calyx, second whorl corolla, third whorl androecium, gynoecium. So, and the arranged that is a cyclic whorl. But based on the accessory whorl only, so we have to separate it. Calyx and corolla mattum vachu paathona, calyx oru whorl, corolla is another whorl. Okay, that is a cyclic or whorl in conditions. That is called by cyclic or whorl. So, next one is a fusions. Okay. So, fusions அப்படினு சொல்லும்போது aposepalous, and another one is a cyclic, then another one is a that is a spiral in conditions. Okay, that is not given in your book. Spiral means that is a spirally arranged, that is not a distinct whorls. Okay, அப்படியே round சுத்திக்கிட்டே வந்துச்சுனா that is a spirally arranged. Okay, so that is a cyclic, another one is a spiral, and some of the species having the cyclic and spiral arrangement. The first whorl is a cyclic and second whorl is a spiral arrangement, that is a cyclic spiral arrangement. Okay, it is divided into three. One is a cyclic, another one is a acyclic, so another one is a spirocyclic in condition. So, based on the fusions, already I explained in that when I started that class. So, fusions, when the sepals are fused to each other, so that is called a gamosepalous. When the sepals are free to each other, that is your polysepalous in conditions. Okay. So, here aposepalous, it means polysepalous. Here the sepals are, that is free, it is not touched to one another. Okay. They have to just touch to one another, not fused to one another. One enanchu irukku, adella thanithaniya irukum, distinct sepals are there. So, that is known as a aposepalous in condition, that is a polysepalous. So, what is the opposite term? So, that is a gamosepalous. Gamosepalous na the sepals are united. Okay, the flower with distinct sepals, so that is a aposepalous or polysepalous. A flowers with together, that is a gamosepalous. Gamo means fused. Okay, ma'am. So, poly means free. Okay, so another one already I explained, that is acyclic and spiral. So, that is the floral parts are arranged in a spiral on the elongated. Spiral na அப்படியே சுத்திக்கிட்டே வரும். Okay, ma, that is your spirally arranged. Okay, so magnolia is example for that. And spirocyclic or hemicyclic in condition. Spirocyclic, இப்போ ஒரு whorl வந்து ஸ்பைரலா இருக்கும், இன்னொரு whorl வந்து எப்படி இருக்கும் அப்படினா அதான் cyclic இல்ல ஸ்பைரோ அப்படினு சொல்லலாம். another one வந்து என்னது, that is a spiral condition. Cyclic ஒன்னு, spiral ஒன்னு. So, that is both of them is considered as a spirocyclic or hemicyclic. Some parts are in the whorls and other parts in the spiral. So, that is a spirocyclic or hemicyclic arrangement. So, that is a calyx and corolla is arranged like that. Okay, ma'am. So, next we are going to learn about, that is a calyx. So, what is the calyx? So, calyx is the first whorl of the flower. Okay. So, what is the functions of the calyx? The calyx protect the flower in bud conditions, and the calyx consists of chlorophyll. So, they can do the photosynthesis. Okay. So, which is involved in photosynthesis. This is the main purpose. In some of the plants, the calyx are modified into and some other functions. Example for in the pappus, in the Tridax procumbens, the calyx are reduced to pappus-like structure. Okay, they can easily float in the atmosphere. So, that is a wind pollinations, which is used for the wind pollinations. So, first whorl of the flower is a calyx, that is a green in color, involved in photosynthesis, and that is a protect the flower in bud condition. Each segment of the calyx is called, that is a sepals. If it is united, that is a gamosepalous. If it is free, that is a polysepalous. So, synsepalous means that is a gamosepalous. Synsepalous otherwise called, that is a gamosepalous. Gamosepalous. Okay. This is otherwise called gamosepalous. Synsepalous otherwise called gamosepalous. Next we are going to see the durations of the floral parts, especially calyx. Okay. So what is the durations of the calyx in the fruit? Okay. How it is attached, if it is present, or so some of the flower the calyx is present, okay, still that fruit formations. In some of the flower the calyx is fall off very soonly. Okay. So based on that the durations of the floral parts are classified. So you can see that is a brinjal. So this is a calyx. Actually the calyx is attached to the fruit. That type of calyx is called persistent calyx. Okay, because still fruit formation that is attached to that. Okay, so that is a persistent calyx. So based on the duration which is classified into two, one like catechos or fugaceous calyx. Okay, so calyx that withers or falls, so that is here during the early development of the flower. Okay, so flower and the early development of the flower அப்படி வந்த உடனே அடுத்து அந்த calyx வந்து கீழே விழுந்துரும். That is a cadex or fugaceous calyx அப்படினு சொல்றோம். The calyx that withers or falls off during the early development of the flower. Flower அப்படி open பண்ண அடுத்த செகண்ட் அந்த calyx வந்து கீழே விழுந்துரும். That is called the catechus or fugaceous calyx. Example papaver. And deciduous calyx. Okay, the calyx that falls soon after opening of the flower. First விழுந்தது early development, just அது originate ஆன உடனே வெச்சுக்கோங்க. இது வந்து opening of the flower. When the flower is opening, so during that time that is calyx will be fall off. Okay, so that is the deciduous, that is known as the first we studied, that is a catechos or fugaceous. Okay, calyx, and this is here deciduous calyx. So example that is a neelambu, and another one is a persistent calyx. Persistent calyx ங்கிறது கண்டினியூவா ஒட்டிட்டே இருக்கும் அதுல வந்து, that is a persistent calyx. Okay, they have to present so after the fruit formation also. So it is along with the fruit they form a cup like structure. Sometimes they have to protect, it's a cup like structure. ஃபுல்லா வந்து அதனுடைய tip of the fruitல வந்து ஒரு fruit ஒரு cup மாதிரி அது ஃபார்ம் ஆயிருக்கு. அதனால என்ன சொல்றாங்க, cup at the base of the fruit, that is protect the fruit. So next one is a accrescent. So here the calyx is completely enclose the fruit. Okay, so fulla the fruit fulla enclose பண்ணி அது protect பண்ணும். So that is called the accrescent type. Okay, the calyx is third type is here accrescent. The calyx that is a persistent grows along with the fruit and encloses the fruit. Okay, fruit ஓடே சேர்ந்து ஃபார்ம் ஆகி fruit fulla so enclose பண்ணி இருக்க கூடியது, that is called the accrescent fruit. That is a physalis or example for that. சொடக்கு தக்காளி அப்படினு சொல்லுவோம் அத. Next, the shapes of the calyx. Okay, what are the shapes? And someone is a bell shape, someone is a flattened like structure, okay, or feathery like structure. So that is the shape of the calyx are vary from each and so every flower. Okay, so this is a bell shaped calyx. The calyx are bell shaped. So bell shaped calyx are called by the campanulate. That is called by campanulate. Okay, this is a campanulate. Next, the shapes of the calyx, another one is here Withania. Okay, so Withania somnifera is here very important medicinal plant. So here the calyx is here somewhat horn like structures. Okay, some bulged horn mari irukum. So that is a urceolate. Okay, urceolate, that is a urceolate type, that's shape of the calyx. So another type is a datura. So datura is a tubular in structure. You can see here that is a tubular like structure is the base of the flower is a tubular like structures. Okay, that is a tubular shape. So how many shape we studied? The first one is a bell shape, and second one is a horn shape. This is a bell shape, and another one is a horn shape, and third one is here, that is a tubular like structure. Okay, the shape of the calyx. Next, sometimes that in some of the flower it has here two lipped. Okay, how our lips are arranged, it's a two lipped structures are present, that is in the ocimum. So ocimum, that is a tulasi chedi. Okay, two lipped calyx is present in the ocimum. So the calyx is calyx are colored. Okay, it's look like a corolla. That type of the calyx is considered as a petaloid in structure. Petals அப்படினாலே கலரா இருக்கும். So அப்ப calyx is look like a colorful. Usually calyx are green in color, but in some of the plant that is a coloredful. So that is called the petaloid in conditions. Okay, so that is example வந்து Saraca and Musanda. Saraca and Musanda is example. This is a Saraca. Actually in the lower region is here, that is a calyx. So this is a calyx. Okay, but calyx are look like a petals. So here that is a Musanda, this is a calyx, but it's look like a flower. Okay, it look like a corolla. So So, that is a petaloid in conditions. So, what is the functions of that petaloid, which is attract the flowers for the, attracts the insects for the pollinations. Okay, that is a cross pollinations will be occur by the insects, that is which attract the insects for the pollinations, cross pollinations. இந்த மாதிரி petals மாதிரி அழகா இருக்கும்போது அது வந்து attract ஆயிடும். So, Tridex procamens, the calyx are reduced to pappus-like structure. Okay, they can easily flow in the surface of that is in the atmosphere. Okay, so by this way it is doing the wind pollination. That is the anemophily occur. So that is a modification pappus. Calyx is modified into pappus. Pappus means some small hair-like structure. So next we are going to discuss about corolla. Okay, that is a second whorl of the flower is a corolla. Corolla is a very colorful part, so which is attract the insects for the pollinations. So it may be a united or it may be a free. Okay, the corolla is made up of a, that is a petals. Each petals are together, that is a gamopetalous. If it is free, that is called the polypetalous in condition. So sympetalous is otherwise called the gamopetalous. Gamopetalous na united அப்படினு அர்த்தம். So this is a datura. So all the petals are united. நீங்க தனித்தனியா பிரிக்க முடியாது. எடுத்து டேர் பண்ணா மட்டும் தான் அது வரும். ஓகேவா? That is a united. That is a gamopetalous, otherwise called sympetalous. And next one is a perianth. Okay. So perianth, when the calyx and corolla is not differentiated, that is called a perianth. Okay. So perianth is the characteristics of the monochlamydious in conditions. So that is a characteristics of the monocotyledonous plants. So each segment of the perianth is called phyllus, tepalous. Instead of tepalous, we can use the phyllus. Okay, polyphyllus. If it is united, that is a gamophilous. The tepals are united means that is a gamophilous. So that is called a gamophilous. So perianth, the gamophilous, okay, the picture is given. So this is a gamophilous because the tepals are united, that is a gamophilous. Fused tepals are called syntepalous or gamophilous. Example வந்து allium cepa. And lodicules already we studied in the spikelet. Okay, what is a spikelet? A type of the inflorescence under the sign. Okay, so under the raceme, the spikelet is here. So it consists of a lodicules. Lodicules is nothing. The tepals are reduced to scaly-like structures in the paddy. Okay, paddy la இருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த tepals தான் நமக்கு வந்து எப்படின்னா ஒரு மாதிரி அந்த straw மாதிரி இருக்கும். Okay, so that is a lodicules. Lodicules are tepals. So reduce a scale-like perianth in the paddy. Okay, so next we have to study that aestivation. So aestivation is nothing the arrangement of the sepals and petals in the flower, okay, in bud conditions. Okay, so we can easily see the arrangement of the sepals and petals in the bud condition. Just you have to take a one bud and remove each and every part. You can easily identify how that is arranged. It may be arranged in the cyclic manner or arranged in the that is a spiral manner. We can easily identify it. So that is your aestivations. Okay, arrangement of the sepals and petals in the flower. The bud condition is considered as a aestivation. So it are so many types of aestivation is there. The first one is called that is a valvate aestivations. Okay, so valvate aestivations here. So even the sepals are petals. Okay, so each and every segment, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, if it is a calyx means each one is called that is a sepals. Vijay. Vijay. Hey Vijay. Changed, that is. டக்குன்னு மாறிடுச்சு எல்லாம். இதான் அதுலன்னா டக்குன்னு வர வச்சுருவோம். ஓகே, Okay, listen here, sorry for the interruption. Okay, listen children. So the valvate means each sepals and petals that is just touch to one another. Okay, that is not overlapping. If it is lapped, that is here another aestivations. Okay, this is a valvate aestivation. So here, so each and every segment, this is considered as a sepals or petals. Okay, எதனால எடுத்துக்கலாம். So the sepals and petals, each one is just touch to one another. Okay, so that arrangement is called, that is here aestivations. That is a valvate aestivations. இதுக்கு தான் என்ன பேர் அப்படினா, so valvate aestivations. Just வந்து touch பண்ணும், அவ்வளவுதான், இணையாது. That is not fused. This is called not fused. Not fused. Okay. So that is your valvate aestivations. Okay. So the margin of the sepals and petals do not overlap. They have to touch to one another. So overlap ஆகாம just touch பண்ணிக்கிடுச்சு அப்படினா அதுக்கு பேரு valvate aestivation. And another type of aestivation is a twisted aestivations. Okay. So the margin of each and every sepals and petals, the margin of sepals and petals are, this is the margin of the sepals and petals just overlapping one another. Okay. So this is overlap the, so another petal, this is overlapping the next petals. Okay, so that just overlapping to one another, that is considered as a twisted aestivations. Okay. So one petals இன்னொரு petals மேல just இப்படி overlap ஆச்சு அப்படினா, that is a twisted aestivation. And next one is here imbricate aestivations. Okay, the imbricate aestivation you can see here. So one is the interior petal. This is called a interior petal. So this is interior. Okay, so this is exterior petal. Okay, so here one is interior, one is exterior. The ஒரு பக்கம் வந்து வெளியில இருக்கு, ஒரு பக்கம் வந்து so உள்ள interior-ஆ வந்து இருக்கும். Okay வா? So this is also like that. And three petals, that is a interior in and exterior in conditions. Okay, ஒரு பக்கம் உள்ள போயிருக்கு, ஒரு பக்கம் வெளியில இருக்கும். ஆனா ஒன்னு வந்து interior-ல இருக்கும், ஒன்னு வந்து exterior-ல arranged இருக்கு. So this type of arrangement is called, that is a imbricate aestivations. Okay, so the sepals and petals are irregularly overlap on each other. Okay, irregularly overlap na ஒன்னு overlap பண்ணிருக்கு, ஒன்னு overlapped ஆயிருக்கு. Okay va? So அந்த மாதிரி, that is a one member of the whole is exterior, this is the exterior, and another one is a interior, another three is exterior and interior in conditions. Okay, that's a irregularly arrangement of the sepals and petals are called, that is a imbricate aestivations. இந்த இடத்தை எழுதி வச்சுக்கணும். So this is a interior petal, so this is a exterior petal, this is a interior and exterior. So this is a 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so it means that is a 2 and 4, that is here interior exterior, remaining 1 3 5, that is here exterior and interior in conditions. That is a irregularly arrangement of the petals and sepals are considered as here, that is a twist, that is a imbricate aestivation. So next one is here vexillary aestivations. Okay, vexillary aestivations means that is here the arrangement of the, so that is sepals and petals are different. Okay, so the first interior, this is the exterior here. So this is your exterior and this is your interior petal, this is your lateral petals, lateral petals. Lateral petals. Okay, so the large posterior, this is called a exterior petal சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, this is a large posterior petal, மேல் நோக்கி இருக்கு. So இன்னொன்னு வந்து interior சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, this is a anterior petal, this is your posterior, exterior சொல்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான் வந்து என்னது posterior petals. So இது வந்து என்னது அப்படின்னா anterior petals, this is your anterior, interior சொல்லக்கூடியதான், அதாவது இன்சைட்ல இருக்கக்கூடியது interior name. So this is a anterior petal, that is a posterior petals. Okay, so the posterior petals are overlapping the lateral petals. Okay, lateral petals are overlapping the, so that is a anterior petals. அப்போ இப்படி arrange பண்ணிக்கலாம். Okay வா? So if I me consider as here, so that is your posterior petals. Okay, I overlapped the, that is your lateral petals. Lateral petals are overlapping the, so anterior petals. Okay, so that aestivation is called, that is a vexillary aestivations. Okay, vexillary aestivation. Large posterior petals, both margins overlap the lateral petals. The lateral petals, both margins are overlapped the anterior petals. Okay, this condition is called, that is a vexillary vexillary conditions. This type of conditions we can see in the, that is a Fabaceae family. Okay, there is a Clitoria ternacea flower. Sangu pushpa poon solrom illaya, adula indha arrangement irukku. And the last one, that is here quincunxial type. Okay, quincunxial type means it consists of here, so the tooths are interior. Okay, the tooths are exterior. This is also irregularly arranged. So this is the interior petal, and this is also interior, and this is the exterior petal, and this is the exterior petals. Okay, so one exterior petals are overlapping the interior petals. Okay, so and another, so that is the interior petal overlapped by the another exterior petal. Okay, appo both exterior petals are overlapping the, so that is the interior petals. Only one petal is வந்து எப்படி இருக்குனா, one side is the interior, another side is the, இது வந்து interior, this is the exterior in conditions. அப்போ 5 petals ல வந்து எப்படி arranged இருக்கு, so 2 petals are external, 2 petals வந்து exterior, external petals, and 2 petals are interior petals. Okay, only one is interior and exterior. ஏன் interior னு எப்படி சொல்றோம், so இதோட ஒரு சைடு வந்து எங்க, so வெளியில பார்த்து இருக்கு. Okay, ஒரு சைடு வந்து எங்க இருக்கு, உள்ள இருக்குது. So that is here, so interior and exterior petals. Okay, so this condition is called the quincunxial type of aestivations. Okay, so this is we can see in the Guava and Ipomoea. Guava and Ipomoea, the calyx is arranged like that. So already we studied, so what are the types of aestivations. Okay, the first type of aestivations is here valvate aestivations, second one is here twisted aestivations, and third one, first one is here valvate aestivation. So here the sepals and petals, the margins are just touched to one another, it is not overlapping. Okay, and next one is here twisted aestivations. Here each and every sepal and petals are just overlapping to one another, so that is called the twisted aestivation. So another one is here imbricate aestivations. Here different, that is here arrangement is totally different. Okay, so 2 interior, it has here, so 1 interior, 1 exterior, another 3 are interior and exterior in conditions, that is here imbricate aestivation. And another last one is, next one is a vexillary aestivations. Here one is the posterior petal, another one is the anterior petal, and it has a 2 lateral petals. Okay, so the posterior petals are overlapping the lateral petals are overlapping the anterior petals. So this is the vexillary arrangement. And the last one is here quincunxial arrangement. It consists of here, so one is exterior, another one is here twos are exterior, this is twos are exterior and twos are interior. So only one is exterior and interior in conditions. Okay, so this type of arrangement is a quincunxial arrangement. Okay, I hope it is enough today. In the next sessions we will see remaining part of the flowers. Okay, I hope you could understand. So if you have any doubt, you can raise through that, you can put your questions in the WhatsApp. I hope you continue to watch this channel. You give your support. Okay, thank you so much, children.